wagon. We're here to burn the wagon that is capitalism, patriarchy, and colonialism. Today, our guest is going to be the Hood Squad. What's up? What's up?
Yes, yes. How's it going?
I'm good. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. I like
I'm glad we can finally make this happen. It's been a minute. We've been trying.
I love the intro, man. You need to make that song public somehow.
I know my homie made it. We cooked it up real quick. It's dope, and that's me
That's
in the little chant.
yeah, that's what's up.
All right, I'm gonna get started with a little prayer, and then we can get started with the questions and stuff.
For sure.
I want to send love to anybody that's suffering from mental health issues. I want to send love to anybody that's suffering from domestic violence issues. I want to send love to any of our unhoused relatives out there. I want to send love to our Palestinian relatives. I want to send love to the earth that we're on today. And today I'm coming to you from Pomo territory. If you guys want to drop where you guys are coming from in the comments, that'd be dope. But today my guest is JT from the Hood Squad. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let yourself give an intro, and then we'll go to the questions that we got from there.
Okay, I'm JT, Justice for Tyranny. I'm a fine artist out of Northern California. And Hood Squad is an art collective that we put together some years back. We share news, information. We do outreach, community outreach, and we just try and make the world better than how we found it. And we found it in a hell of a state, a hell of a situation that we find ourselves in that seems to get no better each year. So it comes down to all us individuals to do our part, and Hood Squad just trying to do our part.
Absolutely. So said you're an artist, and you guys recently put out a movie. Let's talk about that a little bit.
For sure. So we got probably since 2016, around there, we had started researching and developing the film, a documentary called Little Nairobi. And it's basically about the founding of East Palo Alto, the three reasons East Palo Alto was founded, and how that where that leads us today. Especially with police corruption and being in the heart of Silicon Valley, and the city really being $1 million ghetto. Like the houses here are $1 million. It's the hood. We don't have resources. And so, yeah, the film just really just goes into a lot of detail about um, the different situations that Black and brown people find themselves in this community, and uncovers a lot of corruption and abuse, and that East Palo Alto folks have been suffering and dealing with for a long time. And it's about bringing awareness. So yeah, we did one community screening. Right now, we're in the process of getting that film, circulated through the right channels. Film festivals, everything.
Is it any? Can anybody find it anywhere right now, or you guys are still working on putting that out on like the internet?
You're not gonna find it. It's not gonna be on the internet. For a lot of reasons, we don't want it on the internet right now. If you want to see it, you're gonna have to come out, show your face in public. You can't be one of these internet hackers or one of these undos. You have to be there physically in physical form to see the film, and it's better that way. I feel like there's a lot of people that hide behind social media, have bad intentions, and there's a lot of kind of wickedness that happens that way. And so to better protect community, and also we don't want it pirated. So we're going through the indie film circuit. If you're into independent films and you like film festivals, this is something that will be a great opportunity for you to see at a local film festival. Or we also have applied to film festivals out of town, so it's going to be doing the film festival circuit, And then after that, eventually it will stream one day. What streaming platform it'll be on, I don't know just yet, but yeah. But that day is not today. Today it's accessible in person. When you see us offer to screen, then it'll be screened. But we did a community screening. It was packed. The place was full, past capacity for that venue, and it was amazing. It was a free screening open to the community. But yeah, until we get done with the film festivals, we're not going to do too many screenings like that. From a marketing standpoint, I don't think the film festival is like that for you to screen your film in areas where they're gonna, potentially show your film. So.
What was the jumping point for you to get into what did you direct it or were you in it or what was the jumping for you be like man I'm gonna create films or create a documentary because you said a
Yeah.
documentary right?
Well, I mean, that's where the Hood Squad started. That's our origins. Literally, is in documentary film work as an art collective. So that's literally what we do. It's in our mission statement. That's literally who we are as an organization. So all this other stuff that people have seen us doing is basically just our outreach. Just being spiritual warriors. That's something that we've been doing, but actually what we set out to do as an art collective was to make films, was to report news. So we have a news Instagram called the Hood News. We have a YouTube called the Hood News. And that's literally what we actually set out to do, was to be creating films, documentaries, shorts, skits, news segments, because in black and brown communities, we don't have, good community news. Like, we don't have people really telling the narratives from our side, even, with some of the black stations and brown stations that we do have. It's all seems sometimes, kind of like from, a colonial standpoint to a certain degree, and that's not that's not our story. That's just, people that look like us that are putting out, for that capitalist dollar, putting out, narratives that aren't necessarily ours, And so for our collective, that's it. That's what we want to do. And so, we have artists from all kinds of backgrounds. We have musicians, we have poets, we have filmmakers, we have performers, stage performers, actors. We have models, photographers, everybody. We have a versatile team that can do a lot of different stuff. And yeah, it's just a group of artist homies that got together and decided we wanted to be impactful with, our art and do what we call artivism, you know. But yeah, all the voyeur, outreach stuff is just, us also having boots on the ground as artists, you know. So yeah, everybody hates the warrior until the war is at their door, right? So it's like, before the pandemic, we were doing all the same stuff before the pandemic, but during the pandemic, it was like people, all of a sudden the lights went on, people saw us, you know what I'm saying? But we literally been doing the same work for years, and people just really started following us and enjoying and appreciating the work that we do. Through art, and also through outreach during and after the pandemic.
Yeah, one thing that I really like, I really appreciate that you guys do is feeding the unhoused community, and that's like you guys like feed like some meals. So how's that been coming along lately?
Well, it's all about sustainable systems, and for us, that's what has always been about. It's not just like one particular thing, like feeding, and it's a whole ecosystem, ecosystem of health and safety, So feeding folks is part of our public health and safety initiative. And we also do emergency response, disaster aid, and it's all about creating those systems within our communities, because our communities are underserved. You know, I wish, as an artist, I wish I could just make art and I wouldn't have to do any outreach, but that's not the world that we live in. The world that we live in this society, black and brown people, it's always our neighborhoods that are underserved for some reason. And so we need to be able to figure out how to make sure that we take care of each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's really where the farm comes from, and feeding people, and having like that sustainable model for of care. Yeah.
Yeah, and you said earlier, like there's $1 million homes, and then it's the hood, and I always thought it was dope that you got a literal farm right in the middle of the
Yeah.
hood.
Yeah.
Um,
And so in our area, it has the agricultural roots, so that footprint is still there. I've got neighbors that have horses in their backyard. I've got a neighbor with a pig, like literally 3 doors down, from our spot. So the whole thing was like, as far as the farm goes, is a network of farms. One farm by itself, it's gonna have a footprint, but when you have multiple farms, your neighbors has a farm, their neighbor has, you guys pool your food together and you push it back out into, the community for folks that need meals. Now you got something. Now you got a network. Now you got, now you building something. And that was always like the idea of Hood Squad Farms. It was never Hood Squad Farm. It's Hood Squad Farms. Multiple farms, a network. So right now I've been talking to other groups, some nonprofits in the area, like, do you guys want to tap in? Do you guys want to, we'll come out and we'll build, chicken coops at your spot. We'll give you a starter, starter set of chickens, a starter set of goats, whatever, if you are going to commit, some of your product to the good of the community, like, the free meal program that we do, so, and all of that is in tandem with our whole public health and safety patrol. So when we go out and we feeding people, we're not just feeding them, we also making sure that their needs are being met. We solving, problems with them for the community, like, a homie may not just need food, he may need a tent, he or she may need clothing, or they may be having an issue with somebody, and want a mediator or some way of de-escalating, or they may be having an issue with the local PD, and how can that issue get resolved? So those are all have to do with the health and wellness of the community, and keeping the neighborhood safe, and keeping people in the neighborhood protected and healthy, so it's all for us as an art collective just been about how can we help the community solve problems? How can we help, like I said in the beginning, make this world better than how we came into it, you know? Um, and our first priority and initiative as a collective is to share our narrative, tell our own stories. You know what I'm saying? Uh, like what Burn the Wagon is doing, by getting the message out for the community. The same principle from that is what we were born from. And so, yeah, that's what we try and do, and that's the what we try and put back into the universe.
Are people using the goats for milk, or are they eventually going to be like eaten as a meal?
Yeah, we're not trying to eat our homies, but but we do. The milk is not off of the table. Making cheese is not off of the table for our omelets. That was always, in the plan with the goats. But really, what we want to do is create show goats and sell those goats and put that funds back in our program to feed the chickens and to, keep things that we need for the farm. Every winter we have to do all kinds of winterizing because of the rain and all the mud that will accumulate back there if we're not able to add wood chips and things that we need back there. So really it's trying to get show quality animals and get folks to buy into that and be about breeding those animals and getting that high quality animal into a home. And typically those are not animals that folks are going to eat because they done spend too much money on them.
Hmm.
And it's I think the whole thing with like you know eating our friends in that way is a reality if there's a natural disaster. If there's a disaster or a big widespread emergency and food sources are cut off, that's when you're gonna, not just use the chicken's eggs, but also use the meat of the bird. All those roosters that accumulated turn into a food source. I think that's where that process of thought comes. Um, at least from our standpoint, because we don't really want to hurt the animals. They do so much good for us, and we really treat them like they're our partners and our friends. But at the same time, there's nothing that it's much better to raise a chicken to eat than go into the store and buy your chicken to eat. It's healthier. It's better for the bird. The bird is going to live a much happier life, than it does on these huge farms that are just, industrialized and disgusting. And you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it's definitely that. But yeah, we definitely think about like, you know, um, the emergency situations. Like you have places like, Detroit, Flint, that where they have bad water, Jackson, um, Mississippi, places like that where have this legacy in the black or brown neighborhoods where the state, the government's not looking out for that community's best interests, and it's sad. Sometimes there's an emergency like what happened in Texas with the um, people dying in the winter from the power outage,
Hmm.
and situations where the government can't respond because the emergency is so big and widespread that they have a problem with, having the resources and getting into those areas and things like that, and the community has to help itself. So what does the community need to do to prepare for that in advance? Because the worst time to prepare for emergency is during the emergency, right? I mean, what prep are you going to do at that point? So you have to prepare before the emergency. You have to think in advance before the emergency. So that's all stuff that we do. We've partnered with the local fire district in some cases, and we've been able to get folks in the community free emergency batteries for their phones. So when their phones are dying because they don't have a power source in their house because the power is out. It feels like a miracle for them when we pull up and we got batteries that are ready to go. They can just plug right into their phone during their power outage. Which I'm gonna say is a much bigger step up from what some of these CERT groups are doing, even in our area where they're responding after the emergency, after the power is back on, after the sky is cleared up. They're like, hey, next time, here's an emergency battery. That's not what we're doing. We're coming out in the storm. We're coming out when it's still raining, when it's still windy, when the power's still out, and we're providing you with things that are going to help. We dispatch ourselves, and you know, I think that's also a big distinction from what we do and what um, some other aid groups might be doing. But
If somebody's listening to this, what's the best way to contact you guys if they're out in the Bay?
if you're in the Bay, I mean, you can hit us on the gram. I like the gram versus, other things. Other things I might not even respond to. The whole team is on the gram, so anybody can from our team can respond. But it also gives us a chance to see, who you are. There's a lot of fake accounts. There's a lot of hackers. There's a lot of, in this digital age, man, if you're not up on, the digital security and how to keep yourself safe, you're slipping, and our community is behind on that. But there's a lot of fraudulent activity. There's a lot of, you know, uh, people that don't want to see our communities survive, that don't want to see our communities thrive. And so it's our stuff that they attack. And so, if you're trying to reach out to us and you actually want a response, I need to know that you're a real person. And my team is not even going to respond to anything if we can't verify that you're a real person. And it's pretty easy if you know what to look for on social media accounts. I mean, you guys see them, like, all these fake accounts that are up and about people trying to steal your passwords, send you little links, people trying to just do all kinds of stuff. The world's crazy right now. There's so much stuff going on in the world. So if you want to reach out to us, cool. But first, we're going to establish that type of relationship of trust that we're actually talking to somebody that is, from the community.
Absolutely. Um, and you guys, the hood news too, right? You guys get out there and make sure people are safe in situations with the police, which, like you said, our communities are the most fucking patrolled, and it's good to have people like you out there on the ground, making sure people are able to get home safely.
Our communities are over policed. Our communities have, the lowest grade law enforcement officers and, responders that you can imagine in some cases. And so you just want to make sure that, there's some type of oversight. And that oversight definitely needs to come from the community members. So it's an opportunity for women and men to step up and serve their community and keep their community safe by monitoring things and keeping records of things and making sure that everything is on the up and up. Everything needs checks and balances, right? That's what the country is founded on checks and balances. Well, we need checks and balances for policing. We need checks and balances for every aspect of this system to make sure that black and brown people aren't being marginalized and disenfranchised and left behind. Because, historically, it's been proven that without, community input, that's exactly what happens. So it's all hands on deck. If you a real one, keep your community safe. If you a real one, look out for your hood. If you a real one, do what real ones do. And we real just like you real, and we hold it down just like you holding it down. You know what I mean? So we gonna keep on at it.
Is there any other topics that I didn't really bring up that you guys want to, or any like future events you guys are getting out there, or anything like that that you wanted to bring up that I haven't brought up so far?
I mean, right now we just focused on, black and brown solidarity. Um, it seems like there's at times, not a lot of support from one or the other for the other. And so, we definitely believe in unity amongst black and brown. We believe in black unity. We believe in brown unity in and of itself, respectfully. And we just, want to make sure that our communities are um, in support and in solidarity with each other, you know. And it should be like that all the way down the line. If you let the powers that be separate you from people that are going through the same issues as you, then, you know, you're going to be defeated. The system of oppression is going to win versus a system of love. And we want to see systems of love succeed. We want there to be more love in the universe and more love in the world for each other. That's what we want. What we don't want is for, there to be more problems, more drama especially amongst each other. It's always sad when, you know, um, when crimes of proximity, violence of proximity occurs. We want to make sure that we are supporting each other and loving each other and making sure that we're going to succeed as communities. You know, um, and I'll also say, I said it before, but I'm gonna reiterate it. Like, you know, nobody loves the warrior until the enemy's at their door. So we got to get out of that. Folks got to support, the mindset of self-determination, self-sustainability, and making sure that we protect each other. you know, um, all all the time. Not just when there's a fascist in office, or not just when you know there's an individual that is um, trying to get reelected and allowing genocide, not just when all these things are happening um, politically that impact lives and um, and cause people harm, but we want to make sure that we're loving the frontline warriors in our community all the time and supporting them all the time and making sure that we breathe life and support into their systems of resistance. Which systems of resistance? I was talking about this recently on a post, but it's not about destroying, it's about building. It's about creating. If you are really trying to um, resist, you should be creating things. You should be creating systems of love and protection versus, trying to tear things down. It's not about tearing things down, it's about building. So I would say that's the message that I want to get across is let's build and support each other.
I agree because like I've said this before, but in the Native community, there's a lot of hate towards the Black community, but we take so much from the Black community and want to be a part of the Black community so much. And I agree. Black and brown solidarity till the end, till the death of me. So yeah, I 100% agree, and I want to be able to like be in any space that is like supportive of that.
100%. I love you, brother.
Love you too, man, and I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate all the work you guys do because like you guys do all you got like you explained. You guys are all across the board. You guys do everything. You know what I mean? You're in the community, protecting community, making sure people get information, get ways to get information. You know what I mean? Like you guys are out there doing it, and this is what we community is about. That you guys are creating that community that is much necessary in this like capitalistic, colonialistic fucking world that we live in.
Facts. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your warrior spirit, man. And you always got our love and support. Just know that.
Right on. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on and give the people just one last shout out for whatever you want to send out there.
I just want to send love, man. Send some love out to everybody, man. That's it. That's all. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night.
you too.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to the Hood Squad for joining in on us. Um, yeah, I got some t-shirts available if you guys need a t-shirt. I got stickers. Look up for some shows coming out in April, I believe. I'm planning for the Oakland Museum. Yeah, thank you guys for so much for joining and all the love and support. Peace and love.